Hi.
Yeah, technology no.
Hi, T.
Hello again. Hello, welcome. Incredible technology tonight. Oh my goodness. Welcome to Ladies Corner. My name is T. Three Edmonton women have come together to form the Alberta Black Therapist Network, and they join us tonight to tell us what they do at ABTN. Okay, hello, ladies. Welcome to Ladies Corner. Sorry about that, Noreen. Welcome. Thanks for your patience, Shayla. Thank you so much. Good to see both of you.
Hello, thank you.
All right. So, what do you do at the Alberta Black Therapist Network? What is that all about?
Do you want to go ahead, Shayla, or do you want
Yeah,
me to?
you go ahead.
So, the Alberta Black Therapist Network is a network of professional Black therapists within the Alberta region. And we have people based in Edmonton, Calgary, Lethbridge, Vickerville, I believe Sylvan Lake.
Mhm.
And we're a network that aims to destigmatize mental health, but also increase the access of mental health support within the Black community. And we work from an anti oppressive and decolonizing lens because we recognize that for the Black community, accessing therapeutic supports isn't something that we want to do and we often just go ahead and do, but it's something that takes a little bit more of that client-centered approach in order to increase access but also understand. And a big part of that is the representation. So when you see someone that looks like you are more likely to engage because there's a lot less stuff that you have to describe or share because we have an understanding. As I was listening to you, T, earlier on, you were talking about your experience of dating and what it's like within the African community. As a Black therapist, that's not something that you'd have to explain to me. I'm like, yeah, makes sense, right? So
All right, got it. Okay.
that's why like we're coming into therapy as regulated professionals, but also with that cultural understanding and the
Hmm.
lived experiences for most individuals, so then we're able to understand but also go deeper in the experiences because you're not spending a lot of time having to explain the cultural background as well.
I suppose the question for me really is Black girls coming together. How do you all get along? Because when Black girls are together, you talk couple, you talk makeup, you talk about the men in your lives, talk about the children who have joined. How do you all get along?
Oh well, there's always a time and a space for that as well. um, I think a big part of it is our background. So our backgrounds have equipped us or prepared us to be in spaces where we're navigating different personalities, but also different lived experiences. So most of our work really comes from, hey, what's going on with you? But also when it's business, we try and stick to business so that we can get stuff done. I don't know, Shayla, what's your experience of that?
Um, so T, when you say our experience working together, are you referring to us? Because ABTN has two
Mm.
streams. We have the executive team and the network. And in any way, I'll echo what Noreen has just said. So as professionals, you bring in that professional hat as well to say, to be able to communicate when you need space, to be able to communicate when you're overloaded, or to be able to communicate when you need help.
Right. Okay, I get what you're saying.
But we have that same goal
Okay. And your
ultimately.
network is not just for women, it's for men and women, right?
Right.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So why
Well,
do sorry, go on.
we can't take away that the majority of people in the field tend to be women
Right.
more than men. So it is intended for both males and females, but women are overrepresented for sure.
Okay, that's a good thing, isn't it? Is that a good thing?
Well, I
um
think sometimes we want the male perspective.
right. And
Okay.
not only that though, but from an African perspective, we tend to, there's that stigma. The stigma already exists with mental health, but more so for men. We associate men that express emotions as weak.
Mm-hmm.
So when
Mm,
they come in and they're able to see a Black therapist, that's, if
mm,
you're a Black man, you're likely to come to that man and be comfortable knowing that it's okay to be a man that expresses emotion.
mm.
So that representation, again, not just representing us as a Black network, but also for that gender as well.
Yeah, do you sometimes find that when you see black people, oh, black person could go, oh, is there a Congolese therapist here? I'm from Congo. Is there a Somalian therapist? I like to speak Swahili with a Somalian therapist. Do you get into ethnic confines like that, or people are just happy to see black?
It's a conversation that we've also had in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it is we are already diverse in so many ways, and we really wanted to unite the experiences as Black experiences. But we can't take away that there's times where people would rather talk to someone because they're from the same community in that instance. But sometimes people want to avoid people from the same community as well.
Mm,
Right.
Because even though we
mm,
do a lot of work talking about confidentiality and why it's important or when it happens, but sometimes because I may be friends with your sister's cousin who is close
mm,
to it, so then it never feels like it's very confidential. So sometimes
okay.
going outside of your community is more
Safe.
the preferred choice than staying within the community.
Right.
So, why do black people find it hard to get the support they need? What is wrong with the general support network in Edmonton?
Um, Obviously we can't speak for all Black people, right? I mean, we are not a homogenous group, but I think culturally we we have that mentality that we are strong people, and we have that culture that therapy is for white people.
Mm,
I think to some degree that's a contributing factor. Obviously, everyone has a different reason as to why they seek therapy and what they don't. But I think it's rooted culturally there that we tend to see therapy as a white thing.
mm,
Well, I'll echo what Shayla said. I think to some extent we are resilient to a fault where we keep surviving instead of thriving, or the focus is we need to survive. So as long as we have food and shelter, we haven't gotten to the stage where we recognize that we also need to actualize in taking care of our mental health as well. And I'm referring to Maslow's hierarchy of needs when I say we come from whatever backgrounds we come into. So when we come to Canada, Edmonton, we're here to build a better life. And a better life looks very materialistic. So as long as I have my car, my family, my kids are in school, we have food, we're good. And then we forget that we also need to take care of our mental health and our psychological well-being, because we cannot sustain those things unless we're taking care of ourselves, which I
Right.
think there is more of a shift happening right now with people recognizing that we cannot just survive. We need to figure out how we can become more prominent within the society. So even things like the LCC media is an example of saying TV currently represents a certain demographic. We need to have spaces where we can talk about things that are important to us and have people that look like us indicating the things that they do in the community. For the longest of time, I think there was one Baba in Edmonton and
Mm.
everyone would go there. But now there's so many of them because we all recognize that this is something that we need. And I think it's highlighting that we've gone past just wanting to survive and starting to thrive. And I think it might also highlight how long we've been here. Most people either came from Ontario, came from Quebec, or came from elsewhere coming here. So we're not really thinking we're settled. Now we're starting to feel like we're settled. So we're really starting to take care of ourselves in a better way.
Okay, I've got this question for you though. Do you feel that there's enough business, there are enough black people to go around for ABTN? Are there enough black people to give you guys enough business? Do you, I don't know, I'm just asking.
Well, if not
What
the parents, there's enough children.
sorry, say that again? I
If
didn't
it's
get
not
that.
the parents, it's the children.
Oh,
They
I've got
right.
children.
So
Oh,
I don't
they'll
think
be
it's
enough
about,
pretty good.
yeah, I don't think it's about not having enough, but also 1 in 5 Canadians will experience a mental health at some point in their life, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Oh,
you think about that, even in this setting right now, the people that you've interviewed, that means one of us is probably going through it or experiencing it right now. So even when we think the Black community in Edmonton is only 1% of the overall population, that's a lot. That's a lot of people right there. That's a lot of people that need that support, but also it is sometimes support through extension. Like I mentioned, there's the kids, there's the elderly parents, but also sometimes we don't know what we need unless we've been exposed to it.
Right.
And that's the big part of it where we need to recognize that mental health isn't a mental illness. Mental health is the same as going to the dentist. We go to take care of our teeth not because there's something wrong with them, but it's part of our overall wellness that we continue to check on ourselves and make sure that we're okay.
okay, so I know you guys have to go, so I've got a final question here for you. What do you guys offer black folks? I know you do different types of therapy. In a nutshell, what do you offer to your community?
So we are a registered nonprofit organization, and we are currently working on a few partnerships in order to be able to offer low low priced, low fees in terms of the therapeutic supports. Currently, therapy can range between $150 and $200 per session. And if you don't have benefits that are able to cover that, you are paying for that out of pocket. Going back to my point about surviving versus thriving, you are more likely to pay your groceries than go to therapy, knowing that it costs that much. So
Right.
ABTN is really here to offer those supports, but also at a reduced fee. And recognizing that the community needs the support, but also we have to pay the therapists that do the work, right? So we're really trying to balance meeting the need, but also recognizing the professionals that offer the work as well.
And
That's sorry, Sheila.
no, no, no. I was just about to add that in addition to the to that individual work that we do, we also do psycho education. So where we partner with different organizations to recently we were teaching a group of managers how to recognize mental health with their staff. So that psychoeducation piece, the educational piece, is also a service that we offer where we will teach about emotional intelligence, burnout, and different topics in mental health that not just to individuals but to organizations as well.
And to add, we recognize that we're in these roles, but sometimes part of the career path is people are unaware how to get into the roles. So we're really working hard on creating spaces where we can become visible, but also start to mentor people that want to get into the field as well. And that answers your questions. There's enough of us to go around, and then there's enough supports being offered in the community.
Noreen and Shayla, your time is of tremendous essence tonight. But I understand you're going on to a different meeting when you leave here. You are the Alberta Black Therapist Network. Where can we find you real quick?
You can find us on Instagram at Alberta Black Therapist Network. Also on our website, www.albertablackTherapistNetwork.com.
Thank you so much for joining the show tonight.
Thank you for
Thank you for
having us,
having
T.
us.
Dear Lord.